The title of today's presentation is Being on Time as the first referee. We're going to talk about how to make accurate rulings as the first referee.
You're from Stewartville, Minnesota. Been playing well, 12 kills against Purdue last time out. Setting the middle, and Robbins got a lot on that one for Louisville.
So being on time for the first referee is simply about the win with your head and eye movements. That means there's a particular time we should turn our head and eyes. So when we beckon for serve and the server begins to serve, we should be focusing on the server's feet, not on the hands and the ball contact, because we'll hear the volleyball being contacted. Once the volleyball is contacted, you see that our ball has passed the plane of the net. Let's show you something very interesting that this first referee does. The head of our first referee is straight down the net, almost looking at our second referee, but yet she's looking at the ball. Again, here's the head of our first referee, looking straight down the net, even though the ball is just slightly to her immediate left. What she is doing is she sees the ball, but she's trailing the ball as it goes across the net. And we're going to find out why this is such an effective mechanic. Now she is able to see the ball come off the hands on hit one. Now she goes from the hands of our first hitter to the hands of the setter for hit two. She's not going to follow the ball. She's now going to go to the hands of the attacker for hit three, which by rule should be an attack. Now, because she trails the ball going across the net, something interesting is going to happen here. She potentially can see any touches or no touches off any blocking action. It allows our first referee to also see this touch by our libero for our team on the right. It allows our first referee to scan line judge 1 for information in case information is needed. Our first referee then turns to center her head, which allows the R2 to transition to the defending team side in time to award the point together.
Serve, can she deliver here? She can with the ace.
Again, as we have pointed out earlier, we're focusing on the server's feet, not on the ball, to ensure that this is a legal serve. Our first referee, similar to the play we looked at before, does a great job of trailing the ball across the net in time to see the ball contact the playing court, which is the original point of contact. It contacts the playing court inbounds, and trailing the volleyball allows our first referee to see the ball bounce off the floor and make her own determination that the ball was in. Of course, she does a great job of scanning her line judge 2 for additional information. She then centers her head, allowing the transition of our second referee in time to award the point together.
For the Cards. Scott sails one long. Service error number 5 for Louisville tonight.
Again, focusing on the server's feet, not the contact of the ball, because we'll hear the contact of the ball. Again, we're going to trail the volleyball as it goes across the net, and we'll do that anytime the volleyball crosses the plane of the net. Trailing the volleyball allows our first referee to see the ball contact the playing court out of bounds, just beyond our line judge 2. This also allows Our first referee to scan line judge 2 for any information. She centers her head, allowing the transition of the second referee in time to award the point together.
Would have gotten in a 5-1.
Good serve by Looper. Louisville again strong at the net. Kentucky ready. Another one sent back by the Cards. Wilson off the hands. That drops in for a Kentucky point.
Here's our fourth and final play. On the serve, again, we're focusing on the server's feet to ensure that this is a legal serve within the legal serving area. As always, anytime a ball goes across the net, we're going to trail the volleyball going across the net. We're not going to follow the ball or go ahead of the ball. As a result, we can see how the ball comes off the hands for hit 1. This is our setter attempting to make sure the ball does not contact the playing court. But again, same principle. We're going to see the ball come off the hands for hit 2. In this case, the hands of our setter. Now we're going to watch the ball coming off the hands of the attacker. But once our attacker attacks the ball, we're not going to follow the ball. We're going to trail the ball. And trailing the ball results in us being able to see the block touch contact versus the ball contacting the net without a touch by our blockers. Again, we see the ball coming off the hands for hit 1. Now, we're not going to follow the volleyball. Instead, we're going to go to the hands of the setter for hit 2. Again, we're not following the volleyball. We're going to the hands of our next offensive players, and we're going to see the volleyball come out the hands of the attacker. Trailing the ball again allows us to accurately see the block touch contact as opposed to a 4 hits. Now we see the ball coming off the hands of our libero for hit 1. The pass is going to our front row setter, so we're going to go to the hands of our front row setter as opposed to following the volleyball to see how the ball comes off the hands of our setter. We're not going to follow the volleyball, but rather go to the hands of the attacker, in this case for hit 3. And as always, we're going to trail the volleyball to see any potential contact or no contact off the block. Trailing the volleyball allows our first referee to see the original point of contact, which was the playing court inbounds. It also allows our referee to scan our line judges and maybe our second referee for any potential additional information needed. Our first referee will center her head, allowing the second referee to transition in time to award the point together. Excellent work of being on time in all 4 of these plays by our first referee. Let's review what we learned in this training presentation. We want to focus on the feet of the server. We want to trail the volleyball anytime it goes across the net. We don't want to follow the ball. We want to see the ball comes off the hands for every contact. Trailing the volleyball allows us to accurately rule on in, out, touch or no touch, block touch or 4 hits, and 10. Thank you for being on time with us, as well as our first referee. We hope you gained some valuable wisdom, insight, and knowledge from this training presentation. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.